So, hallo herzlich willkommen zurück zu Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Und ja, was soll ich sagen? Wir sind hier gerade in einer interessanten kleinen Situation. Um nicht zu sagen, es sieht so aus, als hätten alle irgendwie ihr Gedächtnis verloren, auch wenn es kaum jemand glauben will. Byakuya sagt aber, es gibt noch was anderes, was ihn beschäftigt.
Said the DVD contains recordings of us being interviewed by the headmaster, right? What were the interviews about?
The headmaster sat each of us down, one at a time, and asked us the same question. He asked us if we could accept the idea of spending the rest of our lives in this school.
What kind of question is that?
And how did we answer?
We'd say no, obviously.
Actually, we all said we could. Even me. I heard myself say yes. I could spend the rest of my life at this school.
Why? Why would you say yes to something like that?
I don't know. I don't remember a thing.
The same goes for everyone else. Nobody remembers. You don't remember choosing to live here forever, or even talking to the headmaster about it at all.
It doesn't matter if I remember or not. Even if I bought the whole amnesia thing, the idea that I would want to live here forever? That's just insane! How can I believe that?
Insane or not, we can't move forward until you accept it. Am I right?
You sure are, 'cause it's all true.
What?
I know it sounds absurd, but if it's the truth, there's nothing we can do about it.
Indeed. We only have one path in front of us.
Then, I really...
Yep, you all totally lost your memory at the same time.
This is all... making my head hurt.
And this isn't like some normal kind of memory loss. You stole those specific memories from us, didn't you?
Das ist jetzt eine sehr interessante Sache.
Oopsie, you figured that part out too, huh?
Of course. There's no way we would all just happen to get amnesia at the same time.
How could someone just steal our memories?
How? Come, that hardly matters right now. If I said it was hypnotism, would you believe me? Or we opened up your skulls and messed with your brains? Would you really believe anything I said? How it happened doesn't matter right now.
What matters is figuring out what memories you took from us. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Übrigens, das Wie, das wird tatsächlich im zweiten Teil, wenn ich mich recht erinnere, erklärt. Naja.
I knew I could count on you.
The interview with the headmaster, taking that group photo, those can't be the only memories we lost. There must have been a purpose to it all. A reason for taking away our memories.
Of course there was a purpose. It all has to do with the original motive.
The original motive.
You mean the motive you came up with? To try and get us to all kill each other?
That has something to do with the memories you stole from us?
It sure does. But that part's still a secret. Anyway, I'm sure it's not easy, but let's all focus on the close trial for the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Okay, so you want us to figure out who killed her before we do anything else.
So until we do that... well, either way, we have to explain every last remaining mystery. So, the one who killed Mukuro, the true mastermind, that's what we need to expose. Interessant.
So who did it? Who killed her?
Whoever did it is the same one who's behind everything. That much I'm sure of.
But when you think about it, is the mastermind really here in the school?
course. They have to be here somewhere.
What makes you so sure?
What does make me so sure?
Exactly. You're just making stuff up. There's no way the mastermind is here. The mastermind is probably a million miles away. Because masterminds always lurk off in the background, right?
I'm positive that they're somewhere in this school. Otherwise, there's no way they could have controlled that machine. Ich möchte kurz anmerken, China, wie dämlich bist du eigentlich, dass du das vergessen hast?
What makes you...
Exactly. You're just making stuff up. The mastermind is probably a million miles away.
Nope, ist sie nicht.
No, it's wrong. There's no question that the mastermind is somewhere within the school.
How do you know? Did you find some evidence or something?
In the back of the data center, I found a panel that controls Monokuma. The mastermind must have been using that to control it all this time. So there can't be any doubt. The mastermind has been inside the school all along.
There can't be any doubt. In which case, there also can be no doubt that the mastermind is one of us.
What? Why?
Recall what Makoto told us Monokuma said to him earlier.
I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
So if the mastermind is in the school, we have to assume it can only be that 16th student.
But how'd they manage to survive all of this?
So we're the only ones here? It's not me! I'm not the mastermind!
Da traut dir auch keiner zu, Hiro.
Well, it's not me.
Dir auch nicht.
I blame Makoto.
What? Why me?
'Cause it's super weird how you're the only one who survived being executed.
Das ist ein Punkt.
Oh, I get it! The only way he could have survived is if he was actually the mastermind himself, right?
Aw, nuts! Ya got me!
Wait! What are you trying to say?
Everyone, calm down. There's no reason to panic. The mastermind's true identity will become clear soon enough. Just as soon as we find out who killed Mukuro.
That's a good point. Rather than wasting time bickering, we should put our minds to work solving this mystery.
Yeah, well, how much time have we already spent talking about the murder?
He's right. What more is there to talk about?
If you want something to talk about, I think there might be one thing. We haven't fully established what Mukuro's fatal injury was.
Huh? But I thought we figured that out. She died when she got hit in the back of the head.
No, that isn't actually what killed her. It was something entirely different. Wouldn't you agree, Makoto?
Mukuro's actual cause of death must have been the other wounds. Yep.
I got it! All of the wounds covering her body. That's what really killed her.
Hey, now hold on a second. You did read the Monokuma file, right?
The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old.
It made it pretty clear. Those wounds were made at least a few days ago. So they can't possibly be what killed her.
Consider this. What if the murder itself took place at least a few days ago?
What?
What if, when we discovered her body, she'd already been dead for several days? If that's true, then naturally the wounds that killed her would appear to be however many days old.
That doesn't make any sense. Because she had all those wounds before she ever came here.
Huh? How do you know that?
Isn't it obvious? She was the ultimate soldier, right? So that means, you know.
You're wrong.
She denied me before I could even say anything. Come on. I mean, you think I'm...
Bonk. Weiter.
I'm not weird, okay? At least listen to what I have to say before you deny me.
If you're so sure we're gonna deny you, why bother saying it in the first place? Es ist ziemlich simpel. Da steht sowas in ihrer Akte.
Mikro was the ultimate soldier. She must have been in 100 different battles. So, when you think about it, obviously, she got all of those wounds in battle.
Are you finished?
You didn't deny me this time, you made me go all cutesy.
Don't worry, there wasn't anything cute about it.
No, those wounds didn't come from the battlefield. One look at what was written about her and that should become clear. Ja. Da steht so eine Kleinigkeit drin. Ach da. Mist. Warum? Ach Mist, ich habe gerade keine... Mist, das hat nicht geklappt. Weil ich meine Energie aufgebraucht hatte. Aber jetzt... Jetzt klappt's. Geht doch. Ich hätte auch einfach in die Mitte zielen müssen, so auf den Drehpunkt. Aber gut. Hinterher ist man immer schlauer.
No, Mikro didn't suffer those wounds in battle. The file we found in the headmaster's room said as much. Despite the time she spent in battle after battle as a member of Fenrir, when she entered this school, she hadn't sustained a single injury.
To be denied so completely. Actually, it's kind of refreshing. Maybe it's because of all of Master's training.
Anyway, so we can be sure that Mikro suffered all those wounds after coming to this school. In which case, they could be the very thing that killed her.
As a matter of fact, it's hard to imagine any other possibility. When examining her body, I found that her stomach and head wounds came after she was already dead.
Unless anyone has any better suggestions, I think we can say this with confidence. The wounds Mikro sustained all over her body are what ultimately killed her.
Mikro's fatal injury has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook.
But if that's what killed her, then does that mean she's really been dead for who knows how long?
That's exactly what it means. When we found her body in the garden, she'd already been dead for several days.
So then, what about the little matter of what happened last night? Makoto, you said you were attacked in your room by a masked assailant. If Mikro had already been dead for several days, certainly it couldn't have been her. So who was it that attacked you?
The identity of the one who attacked me. I can't think of anyone else. Yeah, mastermind.
I got it! The one who attacked me was the true mastermind. When we discovered Mikro in the garden wearing the same mask, I naturally assumed she must have been the one who attacked me. But I was wrong. It wasn't her at all. It was the mastermind.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just getting a little impatient sitting here listening. I think I'm gonna jump in. Let's start off with a nice, easy question. Your assumption that I attacked Makoto is just that, right? An assumption. You can't really know who was under that mask, can you? I mean, that's the whole point of a mask. The true identity of the masked attacker is Mukuro Ikusaba. At least, that's what I think. Do you have any evidence that might convince me otherwise?
No, there's no way Mukuro is the one that attacked me. Even if I didn't see their face. Mukuro had a very obvious Fenrir tattoo, comparing that to the masked attacker. It should be obvious. Reicht das Ding aus? Moment, wahrscheinlich nicht.
You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any idea who was under that mask. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba.
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face, there's another part of the attacker we can use to prove it wasn't her.
Oh? And what is this other part? Is it the right hand? Or the left hand?
Moment. Ich meine, das ist die rechte Hand.
Maybe the right foot. Or perhaps the left foot. Or could it be the hips?
The most noticeable feature, the tattoo that marked her membership in Fenrir. That tattoo was in a certain easy-to-spot area. Ja, die rechte Hand.
You never saw there, so you can't have. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro.
Blödsinn.
No, that's wrong. Mukuro had a tattoo on her right hand, if I remember correctly. A representation of Fenrir. In other words, a wolf tattoo. But I saw the right hand of the person who attacked me. And there was no such tattoo.
Das sieht aber so aus, als würde die Person Handschuhe tragen.
So there's no way the person behind the mask was Mukuro.
Yeah, well, okay. You got me. I guess it wasn't her. But that still doesn't prove that it was me. It could have been, you know, someone else, right?
Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I all have solid alibis for that entire night.
Yeah! We were in the gym tearing you apart, so it couldn't have been any of us.
Oh, okay, sure. It couldn't have been any of you. But what about Kyoko? It totally could have been her. Uh-oh! No snappy comeback? Did I score a bullseye?
If you insist, I don't mind showing you.
Huh? Show me what?
What do you think? I'll show you the one thing that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it wasn't me.
Before anyone could say anything, Kyoko was removing her gloves.
Your hands!
Without thinking, I let out a gasp. It was more than just a little burnt skin.
Awful, isn't it? It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was inexperienced.
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars.
If it means we get another step closer to unmasking the mastermind, it doesn't really bother me.
Kyoko seemed to savor the words as she said them. Then she put her gloves back on.
My scars should suffice as proof. Makoto, did the person who attacked you have scars like mine?
No, not at all. I'm positive.
Then this much has been made clear. There can be no doubt that the one who attacked Makoto is the true mastermind.
This is just awful! On top of my secret being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I do hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
Was ne Arschgeige. Aber gut, weiter.
Not at all. You can say whatever you want.
Sure, as long as it means pushing me farther into the corner, right? corner just yet. Because if you haven't noticed, the circumstances surrounding Mukuro's death are totally unknown.
That's true. All we know right now is she was killed a good while before this morning.
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that.
You're not going to tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about. I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game began here.
Das ist doch schon mal eine wichtige Info.
Then somehow she was killed in secret without any of us knowing.
And after she died, who knows how much time went by before we found her, right? Did the culprit stash her somewhere? She couldn't have been in the garden the whole time, could she?
If she was, she would have been totally decomposed. Just like your brain.
Then she was being stored somewhere?
But to hide a body here, to just store it somewhere?
There's only one place. I can't think of anywhere else the body could have been stored. Biolab!
I got it! Mukuro's body was probably kept hidden in the biolab.
Biolab? You mean on the 5th floor?
That's right. It's actually set up for use as a morgue. So it's the perfect place to hide a body. And it'd keep the body preserved at the same time.
Then you're also saying the body was moved from the biolab to the garden.
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof.
The proof that shows the body was carried from the biolab to the garden. There's something that made its way from the biolab to the garden. Yeah. Moment. Hier, tarp.
I got it! What makes me so sure the body was carried from the biolab to the garden is the tarp that we found in the garden. When I was checking it over again, I noticed something. I noticed that some text had been stamped on one corner of the tarp.
Oh, it says Biolab.
Holy cow! How'd you notice that tiny little thing?
Makoto's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
This proves that the tarp originally came from the biolab. In fact, there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
So when the killer moved the body to the garden, they must have grabbed a tarp to wrap it in. Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers, and put the coat on it afterwards.
Wow, you made everything sound so amazingly consistent.
That's just a wild guess.
Da ist jemand aber jetzt ein kleines bisschen in die Ecke gedrängt.
Where's your evidence? Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved.
There is no evidence. I was simply explaining what I think happened. But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say?
Ja, das passt sehr, sehr gut. Und ich würde sagen, das ist auch wieder ein guter Punkt für eine kleine Pause. Das heißt, hier machen wir einen Schnitt. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder, wenn es wieder heißt Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Lasst ein Däumchen da, wenn es euch soweit gefallen hat. Und wenn ihr mich unterstützen wollt, gibt es noch die 3 Links in der Videobeschreibung. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Cheerio.